wonderful, fantastic rock you are with all the living, beautiful things that are encased upon it. Welcome to the podcast, The Brothers of Many Words. I am your host, RP.
I am your co-host, King Mackey.
Yeah, I'm Corey H.
Special guest, King Christopher.
King Christopher, welcome to our podcast tonight. Tonight is open mic night, where we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 random questions that we pick, which are posted into the notes there, and for everyone to see that we will discuss here tonight and give our opinions and thoughts on. How's everybody doing?
Wonderful.
Loving life.
Doing good.
Love
yes,
it.
sir. Doing good.
Everybody had a great week?
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, King, did y'all hear that TV? I hear TV. I hear TV in the background.
I'm all alone down here.
Yeah, I'm alone too. I'm alone with on this one.
Hold on, Jen. Sorry about that. I didn't know you could hear it. Hold on.
All right. It's been a great week, King. It's been a great week so far.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Anything exciting?
That podcast was good Sunday night. It was really good. Really, really good.
It was.
All right. So, we'll go ahead. No. We'll go ahead and kick this baby off. We'll kick it off. We'll kick it off with the first question. First question of the night. What's one lesson life taught you that changed how you move today? What's one lesson life taught you that changed how you move today? Corey, I'll let you kick it off, young king.
Here we go, Corey.
Okay,
Here we
yeah.
go.
All right. One lesson. This is I'm gonna go ahead and go in. One lesson that taught me a life lesson that changed how I move today. Okay, I had a tragedy that happened to me, and it made me okay. So I'll just start by saying back when I was like 19, I had a 2-month-old baby that passed away, and he I it changed I made a whole bunch of choices that I shouldn't have made. I should have got like counseling, you know what I mean? I didn't get I tried to do it on my own, and it was bad. I went from it was just a very tragic thing. I didn't have any training for it. I was so young. I was just beginning life, and I made some bad choices. I began to try to cover up that pain. So I didn't get counseling. So what I did was I started picking up substances, alcohol, and drugs, and what have you. So that took me down a very, very bad, tumultuous path. So I had to learn that what happened to me was it didn't define who I was. And if I had known that then, I would have made a lot of different choices in life. And so I should have just got counseling. I should have talked to some elders. I should have talked to some group counselors. I should have got a lot of information. And so I held it. I just held that, man. And like I said, I didn't pay attention to I had 6 babies, right? So I focused so much on that one thing that I neglected my other children, they were like, "Hey, Dad, I'm here," but I was just so focused on that one tragedy so my lesson is don't let things, whether they be bad, whether they be good, just don't let it, well, they could be good, but just don't let that define who you are, and don't let that define your path, man. So if you've been to prison, if you've made some mistakes in your life, that doesn't define who you are. Tragedies don't define who you are. It's what you do when you come back from that. And if I could tell my 19-year-old self that then, I would definitely tell myself to do some things a lot different, man. So that to the answer, yeah, just don't let your tragedies define who you are. Yeah, that's all I got, Jens.
That's right, man. I mean, every day is a new day.
Yeah.
Every day is an opportunity to make new choices.
Yeah.
Well, on this, King, I forgot the words of positivity. I forgot the words of positivity, so I made this one short and sweet. Right here. So here's the lesson for today. Hey, when a mosquito lands on your testicles, learned that violence isn't always the answer.
That's a
Say,
good one.
Robert, please repeat that
Yes.
because I totally you lost me at mosquito on testicles. So can you repeat that, brother?
When a mosquito lands on your testicles, you learn that violence isn't always the answer.
Amen.
That's what's
There you
up.
go.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
what's up.
There
That's
you
a good one.
go. That's a good one,
Oh,
Robert.
yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Makes you
Yeah,
think,
that's a
man.
good
Makes
one.
you think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll go next, man. You know, for me, it was holding grudges, and that's something that I was that I did for some time, especially had childhood was tough, and then going to the Marine Corps and going through the experience that I went through, going to combat and coming back at such a young age. Hey, I was. I am not the person that I am sitting here right now. Back then, I was completely different. Didn't care too much about what came out of my mouth, and to cross me in such a manner, if to say that, not that I was violent, but it's that do not talk to me, and shutting people out, and that absolutely was not the wrong way. Along the lines that Corey talking about, having hindsight now to be able to go back and to have tap myself on the shoulder and like, look, it can't be that way. I missed out on so much. I'm sure I missed out on so much love, friendships, and all that good stuff, man, because I closed that part down of me. And hey, it's life lessons. I am very grateful and fortunate that I was able to, with the people that have come into my life and listening to them and taking that advice and being able to turn that thing around to be here right now, what I'm doing now. It was certainly a beautiful thing for me, but holding grudges is something that I certainly did.
Yeah.
100%.
Man. You know what? I have to say that I was an angry person. I was I was a violent person. I didn't have a care in the world for nobody. You know, um, and like the Bible says, I use my tongue, and as well as other things to make that known to people. You know, um, and it's like when I had my kids, that changed my life. No doubt. I had my first child in college on a football scholarship, and I knew my parents. My parents were pretty strict growing up, and they kept a lot of things from me that I needed to understand at a younger age. But it's like when I had my first, and I give you a story, man. I was just even in college, I was rough. I was rough, and I remember finding out that at that time my girlfriend was pregnant. And I remember crying for like 24 hours. Literally, I missed school the next day, crying for 24 hours. It felt like. And the next day, got prepared to go to school. And man, I cut my hair because I was just living a different life at the time. I cut my hair, when I threw some penny loafers on because that's how you should dress. Corey, back in high school,
I remember.
my
Yes,
Dockers,
sir.
my
Yes, sir.
polo shirt.
Yeah, neat.
And let me
Yeah,
tell you
yeah,
this,
yeah.
that transformation was so drastic that when I walked into one of my college classes, the teacher nor the students knew who I was. They didn't know who I was. And that's how drastic that change became. So my mindset took a 360 at that moment, and even to a point where it even changed how I looked. So again, man, my kids, man, they are my rock, and they keep me strong every day. And now my grandkids.
It's a great purpose to live by, to have.
Yes, sir. It is. It is.
What's a life lesson that taught you that changed how you move today? For me, man, the biggest thing is making my own choices. I grew up in a very strict religious home, and church was kind of like my life growing up as a kid. And I was taught everything what to believe, and I was never allowed to explore myself. allowed to explore my own beliefs, how I thought about things. It was, no, this is what this says. This is what you're going to believe. This is how you're going to live your life. And that's how I lived my life for 30 years. And when I finally started making choices on my own, I finally realized that I didn't have the fear of the church saying that if I do this, I'm going to hell.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I finally broke free from that and was able to deconstruct those beliefs, basically forced down my throat as a child, my life got much better. And now I have much more faith in myself than before. And, you know, the fruits of that is to show. I'm 37 now. My life has drastically changed in the last 7 years.
Yeah.
And it's because of that one lesson learned.
Yeah. 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 That church, man, that's a stronghold on a lot of people. I mean, I hear your story and I went through that too. That's probably my second thing that I cannot say I broke free from that changed my life. But I want to bring up a question. We got Nick in the chat. Hey, Nick, we want to appreciate you coming through
What's up,
always
Nick?
on
How you
Tuesdays
doing?
and Sundays
Yes, sir.
with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he says one of the first examples I can think of is his 2018, the loss of his brother, his only younger sibling in the line of duty.
Wow.
It took him almost 5 years to even say his name and even fighting people that said his name because he had so much hate in his soul. But finally sitting down and talking to someone helped him turn that hate into understanding. Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir,
that,
Nick. Thank you for sharing that, Nick, because that's deep, brother. That's deep.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep.
No one can do this
Nick,
alone.
Yeah, no one can. Yeah. Nick, do you feel like you're more do you feel like you're in a better place? And you know, could you give that advice to the people out there, man? I'm sure he's gonna talk in the chat, but yeah, I'm just acknowledging what Nick said. Yeah.
This was up.
Tenfold, and when he gives an answer, I'll keep going too. You know, you mentioned about you know the church, and I was along those same lines. Listen, from a little video thing, we used to catch this bus called the Joy Bus, and that sucker would come around and pick us up at the house and take us to the church.
Yeah.
Listen, from a little bitty all the way till till I left church every Sunday. Did not miss. Wasn't every Easter, Christmas, every play there was in a choir. You know, I mean, you're right. That stuff was it was absolutely impounded into our brain. So it definitely was something to break away from. Hard to, I should say, because as you get into adult, when you start to making your own decisions, and certainly when you start to realize that some of that does not apply or doesn't have the same meaning as it did, that you see for what it really is.
Right.
Yeah, it can be definitely a stronghold.
Sure.
And you want to pick up when you were mentioned, you know, your thing was grudges. And I just wanted to kind of expand on that a little bit. You know, holding grudges can make a person very bitter.
Sure.
And when you become bitter, that spreads to everything around you. Absolutely. Affects every decision you do. And it's, you know, if you have that grudge, you can't ever move past anything. It's such a heavy thing on your soul. And when you learn to be able to let that go and forgive that person, you know, you might be blocking, like you said, relationships that you could have had. And it could have been phenomenal relationships, right? And you missed that opportunity because you held a grudge and you didn't forgive that person and offer mercy.
Absolutely.
And
that's something that's got to be learned.
It is.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. I'm saying that 9 times out of 10 people, you know, you're holding that person hostage to whatever they done to you. 9 times out of 10, they're not even worried about. They haven't even thought about it. So we're holding ourselves.
You're right, man. It's all in your head.
Bull crap. You know what I mean? We're holding on to that. Yeah. So Robert, I still struggle with that. So I understand, brother. That's there. I understand.
Yeah, but you're dead on. You holding that other person hostage for no reason. They probably, you know, enjoying life, but you still holding that. I can't stand that. You trying to say that. So,
right.
You know, all
right.
that.
Right.
I got some baby mamas like that, y'all. I got some baby mamas like that. Move on, preacher. Move on, preacher. Move on now.
Question number two. If people could hear your thoughts for a full day, would your life be better or worse? If people could hear your thoughts for a full day, would your life be better or worse? King Mackie, go on ride that thing. Come on.
You know what? It'll probably be worse. It'll probably be worse. You know, it's like the carnal mind steps sometimes before you, right? And you got to slap that mofo to the ground, right? And then the spirit comes through and says, "All right, brother, let's make this happen." You know what I mean? But if people went off my carnal mind first, I'll be in trouble. I'll be in trouble. Yeah, no doubt, y'all. I'll be in trouble. Yeah. Matter of fact, my wife probably hit me. I probably have a black eye on this podcast tonight.
Right.
It would definitely be way worse for me. But in all honesty, it depends on the person. That's if it's just any willy nilly out there that can hear my thoughts. But if it's a specific person that I know, then I believe it could be better. But it's a very difficult thing to do with the average person in our society because people would see your thoughts and they would just lose their mind.
Yeah, they would.
But that's, in my opinion, that's with anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all have dirty thoughts.
Yeah. I'd be in line in Walmart sometimes, see somebody's feet, and I'd be like, they feet crusty.
Right. Oh, please.
No, we've all thought that junk.
Yeah, you already.
My God, your breath is horrible. Back it up.
No doubt, man. If my thoughts could be read for a full day, it'd probably be something like this. It'd probably be like,
I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I would be all over the place, brother. I would be all over the place. You know, I would like to think that it would be, it would be hugs and kisses and full of love, although I know it's not the way. As to what Haru said, that carnal, that beast does lurk in there. So there would be some thoughts that I think would absolutely scare some people. And, you think, we don't even realize that, the mind never shuts down. It never stops. Even when you go to sleep, you disconnect consciously, but subconsciously, the thing is just always running. And that, Haru had made a point about being aware of what you're thinking and, getting yourself back in check. Some people, well, I won't say some people, it takes discipline to be able to be aware of that, because you would be amazed if you could record yourself thinking without being aware of it and being able to go back and rewind. I think you'd be freaking shocked at what ran through your mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely with that all you hear is like beep beep beep, you stupid beep. I think everybody is you know what I mean? I mean, just think about it. If anybody it comes across, I mean, kids, everybody just be like, man, you have got to be, everybody's stupid except for me in my mind. So, but I have to, definitely in your, as you get older and get more wise, you definitely, I'll make an I statement. I've been trying to change my thoughts. Maybe everything isn't like that, but but before everybody was dumb, but that can't be right. So I think as I've gotten older,
right.
as I've gotten older, I've had a lot more grace. Like I want grace for myself, so I try to practice that in real time. Try to practice that.
Yeah, that's funny thing you say that about that age thing, but it's like the testosterone's flowing. You young, you vibrant, and you just don't take no crap from nobody. Then as you get older, you're like, man, I'm gonna let this slide today, brother. I'm gonna let it slide today. Chris chimed in.
Right.
Chris, based upon the question we asked, Nick's, based upon the question we asked, stated that he would be in prison in the first hour if that happened to him.
Right.
Be in prison.
Right.
Yeah, we all be in trouble. And there's a movie like that. Isn't there a movie with Mel Gibson?
Yeah.
And there's a movie with Mel Gibson where he can hear everybody's thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's when he can hear the thoughts of girls.
Yeah, it was the thoughts of women. Yeah.
He gets struck by lightning.
Ooh, that's another bad one. Ooh, that'd be bad too. Yeah. 'Cause, yeah, women.
I would not want
I'm
that.
telling you,
Be
boy,
sex on your mind all the time. She be like, that's all you think about.
But hey, women, hey, it surprise you, man. If you sit over, if you've heard women talk, they got some. I'm like, wow, y'all talk like that? Why are you looking at me like that?
Yeah.
You're nasty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it would
Hey,
definitely
I'll
shock
take
you,
it.
man.
I'll take it.
He's like, I'll take it.
But on a more serious note, I believe that not all my thoughts are my own.
Expand.
So if somebody would read my thoughts, because our minds are constantly, I mean, I believe in consciousness, and outside of this physical form, I believe we're all connected in some way. But I also believe that, not all thoughts are my own, and maybe not any of my thoughts are my own. Think of people that have ideas that come out of nowhere. Where does that come from? Does it really come from you, or did it come from the ether? Because I've had experiences in my life where ideas just came to me out of nowhere. I wasn't thinking about the thing. It just dropped in your head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think you plant that seed,
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean? Something, or even you, Chris, you planted that seed, where that seed started to grow. And then as it started to blossom, that thought was able to, sprout, through your, because I'm with you on that, you know what I mean? But, even the Bible talks about, our thoughts, or, how we think is really who we are, so honestly, people really kind of read our thoughts every day because they get to see who Chris is, RP, and Corey, and myself. And when they see you, you are your thoughts, damn near. You know what I mean? So I guess it really wouldn't be too bad,
That's true.
No, I know what the scripture in the Bible you're talking about. It's the one where it says if you look at another person or another woman in lust, you commit adultery.
That is.
But I actually, there's a lot of meaning in that scripture, and the literal meaning. If you took that scripture literal, I actually disagree with that, because I am not my body. I am not my flesh. I operate this flesh, but it's not me. But the flesh has desires, and I believe those thoughts will always be there as long as I am a man. But the reality is, if you act upon those thoughts. Now you can take a picture and pull that up and dwell on it, right? Now that's you doing that intentionally. That's an entirely different thing versus when you see something and you're attracted to it, your body's going to react. And are you control your body, or is your body control you?
So she's got some thinking in this one. So let's throw this out here. Okay, we got a few minutes, RP. So okay, so it pours the scripture. So if we see a woman walk by and we say, dang it, I love to hit that. Or would we say that's not our thoughts? Or would we say, I mean, if we can get away with that, baby, that ain't my thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But really, I mean, it's,
whose thoughts is
just my,
whose thoughts
yeah.
I mean, I would say that's my body's.
That's
it's my body sending a sensory input to my brain and stimulating my physical body. And then my mind catches up and makes a decision. Are you going to react to that or not? How are you going to react?
See, that's like my thought about love. I mean, my boy Chris, we've been on that. The thought about love, because it's a chemical reaction, right? You know what I mean? So it's a feel-good feeling. So if you only love when you feel good, what about when you're not feeling good? Are you still in love? Are you still loving?
Yeah, that's what love is, not a feeling.
It's a chemical. It's a chemical arousal. It's an arousal. It's arousement based upon these chemicals that flow through our body, dopamine and all that good stuff. So if it's a chemical based feeling, and you only feel that when you're feeling rewarded, in a sense, what about when you don't feel rewarded in your relationship? Or
that's when you really love somebody or not.
Valid point.
In my opinion, love's a choice. It's not a feeling.
Okay.
I mean, when I'm a young man, everything felt new and fresh, right? I mean, you guys remember you got a girl and first time she touched your hands, you got butterflies in your stomach. And we all felt those.
Yeah.
Our first times, right? We all had.
I might have had something else. I don't know, no butterflies. I mean, you know what I'm saying? She touched my hand. I was like, let's.
But those are all feelings.
What's up? What's up?
There's all feelings,
Like,
and you never learn how to control those.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like, yes, sir.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, buddy. Go ahead. Reach out.
No, no, I was just piggybacking on what everybody's saying.
No, go ahead, brother.
Okay, so like if he was saying I just think that back in the day, you know how we were, like Chris was saying, but everybody, all girls, you know what I'm saying, like I think from the time I was like 12, I was like, all y'all can get it, you know what I'm saying, like you, man, you can get up out in your wheelchair and get it, you know what I'm saying, it didn't really matter,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, but as we got older, I do think that, I think that at a certain age, you look at a woman and it doesn't go past it. Okay, well, she's beautiful. It doesn't go past. I want my penis inside of her. I think that's a difference with the lust thing.
YouTube.
The lust.
This is YouTube,
You know what I
Corey.
mean? Oh, sorry. What?
We just got
I
censored.
apologize.
We just got in trouble.
I didn't
No, we
mean it
messed
like
with you,
that.
bro.
I
No,
just
we
meant that,
messing with
back
you,
in the,
bro.
back in the day, So I apologize, YouTube, and for listeners out there. RP.
So let me ask you this then. Since we're speaking on thoughts, do you think thoughts are considered a sin?
I think that what you do with that thought, I believe that since we're always streaming thoughts, there's a bad thought that can come into your mind. It's what you do with that thought within milliseconds of that. You know what I mean? Like that's what I believe. I believe that what you do, what you intend to do with that. But I believe if a evil passing thought can pass through your mind. I mean, we're always thinking about something. You know what I mean? Until we're not thinking about it.
True.
So I believe that what you do with that thought, the evil thought within milliseconds after that is a sin.
But
You know,
the milliseconds are really, really quick though.
Word.
They are.
Really quick.
Word.
Right.
Really quick.
Right.
Shaking your head.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Chris.
Me personally, I don't believe in sin. I believe that what people think sin is ignorance, in my opinion. But no, I don't think it's a bad thing inside your mind, because it all depends on what your definition of that term is, sin. But if we're thinking it's a bad thing, it's a thought. And if you're constantly thinking about that, like if you have a good looking woman and you're a married man, goes past you, and you're thinking about that other woman, and you keep on thinking about it, and you keep on thinking about it, that means there's something probably going on in your marriage, and you're dwelling on that. But that's different, because anybody's going to have to battle thoughts. And if we all have bad thoughts about all kinds of choices. And it's really the ones that you act upon when people experience you is what matters.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. I'm a big believer. I don't believe in sin, but I'm a big believer about manifestation. And so I look to keep my mind as positive, strong-willed as possible. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And delve into positive things, because we have noticed, as we mentioned before, through trauma and negativities, people's life become a downward spiral. Do you know what I mean? It's because of the way they think. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But I believe that if you constantly think, and so I do believe that the way you think can take you to the wrong place, for sure.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
100% agree. Yep. So is he. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yep.
Yeah. Fact.
Yes, sir.
That's why fellowship is important, and speaking with people, never sticking to yourself.
Yes, sir. And accountability.
Nobody's that strong.
Right.
Question number three. If you can redesign one aspect of modern life, what would you change? If you could redesign one aspect of modern life, what would you change? Chris, kick it off.
This is very cool. So I've thought about this a lot, and I've always thought about this quite often, is all the technology that we have. And if we could utilize it in a fashion that wouldn't benefit people to profit and be higher than another person, but if we could use it in a way to actually make the entire world's life better, like I imagine houses being built into nature, being one with it, like the way we have technology, and everything's with right angles, nothing. And you look at nature, there's no right angles in nature, right? Everything has a curve or an angle, but there's no 90-degree angles in nature. And I think it'd be awesome if we could redirect the way we use technology instead of the business of capitalism and profit to actually benefit humanity, and use it in balance with nature. And I think that's something we can do, but we'll never be able to do that if profit is the number one thing we're working for.
Okay.
Self-interest.
Okay. If I could redesign one aspect of modern life, I would not redesign anything. And I'm not escaping the question because I believe this. I believe in a universal order of things. If you take one thing away, it's not just an empty void that is left. There's something else that is going to fill that void. And from that void, there will be other tenants and other ripples, if you will, that spread out and will create good and bad things, just as the other thing that was there. You know, the universe was designed without our input in it for a reason. And you know, there are ebbs and flows to life. There's good and there's bad that comes along with that. We have evolved nonetheless. I would not change anything. It's supposed to be this way. It's supposed to be this way. I would not change anything about modern life.
Can I piggyback off that?
Sure.
So, I mean, I get where you're coming from, and I agree with you as well. But also, you can't change the past. But in my opinion, the whole point of this question is to get us thinking of what we would like to see change. Mm-hmm. And if we do want change, nature either changes or we can command the change. That's the power we have as a human being, right? And so if we want change in the world, we want to better the world, we have to voice that change and make it happen.
I see that. I see that point. I see that point. And I don't discount that. I don't discount that. And not just going off the past. I just think that things happen the way they're supposed to happen in the future. We do not know. And that's what makes it beautiful. You take things as they come and you make your decisions right now for the future. But I certainly see where you're coming from. I understand that.
Yeah, I mean, because if we didn't have what's already happened so far, then I wouldn't be having these thoughts now. My thoughts would be different than what I have now. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to change the past. But we can look back and see how we've learned from it, and then continue.
Yeah, and so it's like too. So not that I'm saying I want to change the past, but no matter what you change, there will just be a ripple effect to that. You know, whether you know how you say, you know, for the good and the better of things, there still will be an equal side of bad to that. Just to the other side of that. You know, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying I want to change the past. What I am saying that I guess I just wouldn't change anything about that. You know, things happen the way that they should be, in my opinion. But you're right. I understand where you're coming from, Chris.
Right on.
Boy, you want to rock this one?
Man, I'm like Rob, man. I'm just like, I don't know what I would change, man. Go. I'm gonna pass it one more time, and then I go up to you.
Yeah. You know what? I really believe. I personally believe that we redesign modern life every day. Every day, because I think it's the power of our thoughts. You know what I mean? If you get up upon rising and it's raining outside, what does that make you want to do? It makes you want to stay at home, relax, movie, popcorn. So even though that's a small part of modern day life, you redesign it just due to what was going on in your current point of view or your current reality. You know what I mean? And so I believe that on an everyday basis, we definitely redesign our modern life itself. Because honestly, when you start looking to the science and quantum physics, it's not considered real anyway. You know what I mean? And we are the guides of our own destination. It means the way we think is who we become and what goes into the future. You know what I mean? So my wife knows I'm a firm believer on manifestation and what we say and what we do. But I do believe we change modern life on an everyday basis.
I like that.
100%.
Absolutely.
I think that's what I was trying to get at with, I mean, I agree with you, Haroon, exactly what you said. That's what I was trying to get at.
Yes, sir.
But we command the change is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we do.
And I agree with that as well, because I live my life just the same.
Mm-hmm.
I live my life just the same.
And that's why also, to go back to the thoughts thing, like you were saying, every day is changed, right, Mackie? That's what your answer.
Yes, sir.
So in thoughts, if you want to bring up the quantum reality and things like that and how things are entangled, then, when you have a decision, and you make tons of decisions every day, but, you could be driving down the road and one decision can be like, you decided to turn your left signal on to go in the left lane.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then you have all these thoughts if you didn't do it right, or you maybe went to the right lane to turn off to the exit.
Right.
But you have millions of those, and those, in my opinion, has already happened. So every time, if you had a thought and you decided not to do that thought and you went a different direction, in another timeline, you made that other thought, that other decision.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's all connected. It's already happened. You're just picking which timeline you decide to play that round. What you're doing right now. That's what a decision is. You're like, I choose this timeline.
Right. I feel you. Yeah, I feel you. So
I'm just trying to think what I would choose, man. That's just, I could say, I wish, we had better, educational systems and, I would, what I would change, but I just really couldn't, I feel like I couldn't change anything, on a whole, because, at the end of the day, I feel like we change the people, the person changes, you know what I mean? Like, there is one thing about, education that I would change, and that would be like to make it available for people. I mean, because but at the end of the day, it's the person who is deciding to make themselves better and for change. So that question is just that's a good one. I'm gonna have to think about that one a little bit more. But like Robert's initial statement is, I really wouldn't change anything. You know what I mean? I would let things just be what they are and hope for the best. You know what I mean? But that's a good question, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Kings, that is a really good question.
Yeah.
It is.
They're all great answers as well. Very insightful.
All good.
All
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
All good.
Yeah. And let me piggyback off of Corey real quick. I almost went that route because I wanted history. You know what I mean? I don't like how history has been so buried. And then people just assume things on other people due to the ignorance and the narrative of the world. You know what I mean? So I was along them lines, but even now, through our podcast, we are redesigning the aspects of modern life because we're putting information out here that people can get a hold of, all right, and continue to make, their decisions on what they believe on what we give, So, again, we change and redesign modern life every minute of the day. Every minute of the day.
Right.
Absolutely. Question number four. What beliefs did you inherit without choosing? A, religion, education, family. B, family narratives. C, who benefits if we never question those beliefs? So, what beliefs did I inherit? We spoke on the religion, going to that church every Sunday, and that was certainly a part of my life. Didn't miss any of those meetings, and so that was a big part of my life. Even after I left home, that still was a big part of my life. One thing as far as family, moms would man, and I loved it, man. Every Sunday, I used to wake up to that smell of that breakfast, to that bacon going in the kitchen, and the biscuits, man. Like when we went to Sunday school, I loved it. And then, sitting in church as a kid, wondering, what are we gonna have for lunch? And then get home, and man, mom would have that pot roast and that rice and those and that cornbread. Just it was killer every Sunday. So it'd be, our family, we would all gather around that table and eat, and those were beautiful things. And so, I can remember, going through the summer, for the summer times, going to my grandmother's house, and all of my cousins would be there. There'd be like 50 or 60 of us, playing around every summer. And so that has resonated with me, with my family today. It's like we eat supper every night. No matter what, we get together, we eat supper. That's law. That's the law. And that has been a beautiful thing for us. And so, those are things that certainly have stuck with me, that I carry on and hopefully pass it on to my children as well.
Is it me? Is it me? Is it me? Is it me?
It's you, man. It's you.
All right. Okay. So inherited, bro. I inherited the whole list. religion, education,
Yep.
family narratives. I mean, because you don't know no better initially. You know what I mean? So coming out of my family or my parents' household, the religion I took, the education I took, you attempt to do better, the family morals I took. And then I started to know thyself. And once I began to understand thyself, then I began to negate and get rid of those so-called inherited choices that were not really my choice. And I started to build upon that. Like I'm with Robert, I'm big on family. So we eat, we go do picnics, we eat dinner together, we speak affirmations together. Like, I mean, we go to gym together. I mean, I make it about family because that togetherness goes a long way. And I feel like that's what made me a better father and a better husband, even just watching my own parents. My parents been married almost 50 years now. You know what I mean? So watching them, go through their struggles, but then still succeed to this day and carry on that true nature of what Chris might say what love is. You know what I mean? And so I look at that and I add that to my life and add it to my life. But then what doesn't suit me, I get rid of. Okay. So yeah. But yeah, I took it all. And then who benefits? We never questioned these benefits. I mean, the person or people who gave you these inherited choices and you never looked into them to make any choices, to make any changes. You know what I mean? I feared my father till I was 35 years old, and then I had to have a long conversation with my father. And that at that day at 35, I became a man. I felt like, and my father respected me as a man at that time period. You know what I mean? Because again, I got rid of those inherited choices and brought on my own and explained to my father why I no longer need those. And at that time, he looked at me and said, "Now, son, you have become a man." Done. I'm done. I'm gonna start crying. I'm done.
I'm glad your father was able to do that for you, man.
Yes, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
Corey, you got this or with me? Cut out.
Yeah, he did cut out. He cut out. Yeah, he just froze up on us.
There he is.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Amen, bro. Yeah, that's what's up, bro. I say.
Yeah, man, I'm with you there, brother. I inherited quite a bit from my family, and but there's also a lot of things that I have identified and taken away as well. Um, Religion was definitely one of them that held on to me for quite a while. I wasn't able to actually break free from that until just a few years ago. I'm 37 years old, but you know, one thing that I'm very happy that my mom did instill in me was to be opinionated. My mom was a very strong-willed, opinionated person, and I like people that have opinions. Um, and I'm very happy that my mom taught me to believe in myself, to have faith. She taught me, I have core principles in my business, and I call them faith, dedication, and discipline. Specifically in that order. My mother taught me that. Um, she didn't teach. I didn't learn much education. My family is not an educated family, um, but I definitely have. When it says who benefits if we never question these beliefs, well, I don't think anyone will benefit with what I taught with religion. How things were forced down my throat, taught me to believe in a certain way. It definitely affected a lot of things and how I live my life. And we definitely need to question things. It doesn't mean everything inherited from your family is wrong, but you should question it. I mean, you should always question everything and weigh that against your principles and what you live by, and see if that fits your code. And if it doesn't, then you got to drop it off. And like you said, be your own man, Mackie, and that's what your father accepted that when you chose to do that. And if your family loves you, um, they're not going to mind for you to question those things. So never be afraid to bring that up.
That's when it gets crazy. That's when
Hey,
it gets crazy. I'm not gonna cut you off, Robert. My fault, brother.
No, no,
Well, that's where it gets, and I hear Robert on that. I mean, I hear Chris on that, and I have to admit, man, when I turned away from the church, family was disapproved of it. I mean,
oh yeah,
I can't mention to my grandmother now because she'll just start crying. You know what I mean? And so I'm with you on that, and that's where my concept is about love too, because I know my grandmother loves me. I know my mom. I know my family loves me. You know what I mean? But I'm like the black sheep, but not the black sheep. Like I think outside the box and bring in different thought processes, but yet again, I'm very important in my family. You see what I'm saying? And so, when I did reach out to my family and make these choices that I made, that this ownership, even though I feel like my parents were supposed to love me, that this ownership didn't feel too good. You know what I mean? But that didn't stop me because I knew by the way I thought I had to carry that torch for my future, which was my legacy and my kids. But anyway, I just want to bring that part about Chris because I think that's a valid point because your family disowned you and we want to consider that love or not love. But then the only difference is we just thought outside the box. We thought about something different. So that's all I want to say. That's all I want to say.
would you?
Question number five. Question number five. Do you believe events of frequency can trigger memories or abilities? Do you believe events of frequency can trigger memories or abilities? Corey.
Yeah, who came up with this question? What did I? That's a room.
No,
Oh, that's
I'm
Chris.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I put that one in there.
Explain that one.
I put that in the text thread, and I wasn't. I was just wanting to talk about what.
Okay. You got it.
So I put that in the text thread like last week, and I was just wanting to talk about it with you guys, and no one responded to it. And then when he sent me the questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bam, baby.
and I saw that. I was like, okay. It was just a random thought I had. Do you believe events or frequencies can trigger memories or abilities? And yes, I do think frequencies can trigger memories. I know it's happened to me personally. A certain song comes on, I hear a melody, a certain tune, and then boom, I just get hit right back to where I was before. And even those same feelings, how I felt, the happiness and the joy, everything is still there, locked in that frequency if I hit it. So yes, I do believe in that, and I also believe it may be weird for some people, but like maybe you've listened to some certain music you've never heard before, and it can make you feel like in a different timeline. I know I've personally experienced that. I don't know about if any of you guys have. But yeah, I mean, music definitely affects me very, very, very much so. And all kinds of music, African music, Jamaican music, music from like the classical kind of music. I feel like I've been in those timelines before and they've all hit me hard. And I get a different reaction each time from those. Abilities, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's a technology that we haven't discovered.
I'm in agreement with you. As far as definitely with the music. If you've been through a tough time or even in a high time, and that certain song comes on and it brings back those special memories or that time when you were really really hurt. And we were talking about thoughts earlier, and you mentioned like how you get these thoughts out of nowhere, and you mentioned ether.
Yeah.
Everything is we're all connected. It's just so many frequencies. Here around the earth and in the universe and space. I mean, there's so many things that run. Everything runs on frequencies. And so, as far as abilities, yeah, I agree with you as well. That too, we haven't. I don't believe we figured that out yet. If we have, it has been known to us. But you never know. Is it possible? I think so. There's nothing that's not impossible.
I'm gonna give y'all something on your abilities.
Let's do it.
And all of us, we're gonna say,
I'm gonna write this down, man. Let's go. How do I do this?
Hey, when you lift weights, when we lift weights, and that song comes on, right?
Oh yeah.
That song comes on. It don't matter what weight is on your back or sitting on your chest. These abilities that we have overcome us, and we throw that weight up like none before. You see what I'm saying?
Shit, I didn't think about that. You're so
yeah,
right.
Yeah, and then I have a quick little story that I heard a long time ago. So in Dallas, there was a drunk driver that drove into a daycare, and when he drove into a daycare, he pinned this 6-year-old girl underneath his car. Got the driver runs out, homeless guy, 120-pound guy, runs over to the car, lifts up the front end of the car, and they pull the little girl out. Now, this guy wasn't on steroids. He didn't lift weights. He wasn't taking protein shakes, creatine, anything like that. And I think just that, I know we're talking about frequencies, but in music and all that, but it's still part of the power of belief.
Sure.
It's part of the power of belief. So through his belief, hearing this little girl scream, it gave him the strength to lift up the front of this car. But yeah, when it comes to frequencies, matter of fact, there is a science behind it too, because they talk about Hitler. He used certain frequencies to dumb down the people or dumb down the Jews. So there was something called 432 hertz. He played music to dumb them down, so they basically wouldn't fight back. And a lot of times too, they state that in our music industry, right, that we live on that same chaos or that same drum beat. You know what I mean? And then in my own personal life, I'm like Chris and I'm like RP, the African drum bass itself would do me right. Like
Makes you want to dance around a fire, right?
It does. It literally does.
Dude, I've had that feeling before, man.
Literally does.
Like I play that music and I start like just I'm like, man, I feel like I've done this before.
Yeah, I do agree, bro. I really do. And that itself evokes and brings these memories to surface. And all we have to do is just kind of harness it. You know what I mean? But particularly what I enjoy doing is just playing some smooth, subtle music with a very mild tempo while I'm in the shower, and I turn the lights out. And through that statement, I'm able to meditate and just put myself in a different reality. You know what I mean? And that just kind of starts out my night. And what it does, it ends my day. You know what I mean? As men, we carry our day on our shoulders. You know what I mean? When I get into that shower and I hear that music, I hear that beat, and that changes my frequency. Once I get out, the day is over with. Now it's time for me to enjoy my wife or, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Or my kids, we have an event going on, whatever it may be. But that almost, to my point, cleanses my day and starts a new moment for me. You know what I mean? And so, but yeah, I do believe in frequencies and triggers, and the triggers do trigger memories and abilities for sure.
Yeah, that's something I'm wanting to learn more about is the frequency.
Mm-hmm. Footloose. Footloose. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, no, you didn't, brother. Silk. Oh my gosh.
Jagged Edge, man.
Ooh, bruh.
I haven't heard Jagged Edge in so long.
That's what's up, Chris. Yes. Mhm. Yeah.
Genuine.
Ah. Yeah.
No, he's cutting out again.
Hey, while he's pausing, Corey was in my living room when we was in 11th grade dancing to some Silk. Oh, man, we used to. Me and this dude used to be bad. Bad. Yeah. Bro, we jumping on top of cars in high school, music blaring and dancing on top of cars, stripping. Yes, bro.
But that's something to talk about, though. That music made you feel and do those things.
Yes, it did. Oh yeah.
I mean, so the type of music you listen to.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's also why there's so much money in music.
That is. Throw your set up. Throw your set up. That's Lil Jon right there. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's real. That's real on that.
Now, I just want to mention this, that you guys are like all a decade ahead of me, besides RP's a little more. And you bring all these songs, and I never even heard these songs until I was in my 20s, because I wasn't allowed to listen to any music but gospel.
Yeah. I was the same way. I was the same way, bro. Like I had to sneak off and listen to Michael Jackson at 16. Hell, when Tupac died in high school, I didn't know who Tupac was. I'm not even gonna lie to you. All my homeboys crying. I'm like, Tupac? Who is Tupac? He died. I didn't know.
My mother literally took a George Strait CD out of my car.
Oh wow.
She found a George Strait CD, and I wasn't allowed to listen to that. And it's nothing but love songs.
Nothing but love songs. Yeah. Nothing. Especially then. Wow. Yeah, Fuji's. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Some people it does. It influences them. They really live and vibe through all that stuff and act up on it, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I mean, they talk about. I mean, even to this day, I was talking to some elders at the lodge, and they were talking about Gen Zs. And when you listen to the new music these days, I mean, they're literally telling you to be seedless. A woman, gorilla saying, I don't want your phallus. I don't want to procreate. I just want you to, give me that good head or whatever it is on her end, and then the same thing for the male. I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want to make love to you. And that's what I was telling my wife, the other day too. It's like, I'm glad I grew up in the time I did because, again, Chris bringing up Genuine and Jodeci and Silk, these were making love music. Do you know what I mean? Grooving, rubbing your girl's feet, giving them a bath. I mean, it just was a different time period. And it's sad that a lot of these new gen women and men would not have the ability to enjoy what it means to just make love, take your time, caress that person. I heard something about Sting. I think Sting is a maybe 80s, 90s singer. And he talked about him and his wife. They make love for 8 to 10 hours. And people are like, what? Making love for 8 to 10 hours? He's like, look, I don't mean just intercourse, but I mean holding her hand, gracefully walking by, touching her, giving her a kiss, giving her a massage in the middle of the day. Like, it doesn't have to be something that happens at night or first thing in the morning because we got our heart on. You know what I mean? It just but that intimacy and that compassion goes a long way. And I think that's a huge thing that's being restricted when it comes to frequency in music these days.
That's all about what they're pushing.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of Spotify, and I really love Spotify because it's a platform where anybody can now make music. You can buy like an iStudio. You can create your own sneaking. You can be your own studio. Upload it to sneaking Spotify. Skip the label. Skip all the companies. And people can enjoy your music. And that's why I listen to Spotify. I've been introduced to so much music now.
Huh. That's interesting.
And these are just people they don't have labels. They don't got big names.
Right.
And I'll send you some of them. You guys would probably really like them. There is people out there making good music now. They just don't got money behind them.
I do agree. There are several artists that are not mainstream that are very positive in nature in their songs. And I mean, when my kids been in the car, I have to listen to that. I can't listen to Gorilla and Flipper T and Lil Wayne and then all Drake and all this cussing and all this ignorance. I have to put something positive on because my kids are 3 and 5 years old, and so they're starting to repeat things. So they hear something, they want to repeat it. You know what I mean? And so once I noticed that, I had to really make a change in what I listen to around them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, our kids listen to our music. I mean, my 5-year-old daughters listen to 70s rock songs.
Right.
She's singing those. She loves them.
Yeah.
Her favorite song right now is the one by Queen.
Oh, is it?
We will rock you. Boom, boom.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. You cannot go wrong. Yeah. Oh man, running out and hitting the. Oh yeah, the banner. Yeah, I miss them days.
Music back in the day, it meant something because they spoke about something.
True.
It wasn't just like I can't even understand what they're even saying. And so you mentioned the kids, and so man, it's like I really. Not that I'm in control, but I monitor what they're listening to because I believe a lot of this stuff is poo-poo, to everything that you were mentioning, Haru. And so my oldest, Shayla, she's a throwback. You mentioned Queen. So one day I played Billy Idol. More. That song, Rebel Yell is what it's called. Man, listen, she loves that song. But she listens to all the stuff in the 60s and 70s. I was like, you're in the wrong era. You're in the wrong area. She listened to all this stuff, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that because music these days it's something. It really is something.
It is.
Yeah, it's I don't know if some of it's music.
Yeah. But it's by design. Like Chris said, it's by design.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah. Drug induced. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, half the rappers, you so right. You so right. Like you can't even these dudes can't even get the rocks on because they popping pills.
That's
You
right.
popping pills. And then they got 18 or 19-year-old kids out here popping pills too. You know what I mean? Just for the heck of it. Or going out here and shooting up a neighborhood or shooting kids or shooting whoever because they believe Lil Wayne did it.
Right.
And Lil Wayne shot himself in the foot when he was young and gave praise to the cops about saving his life. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I mean it's yeah, if it ain't based upon a narrative and they don't want you to hear it.
That's right. That's right. Kings. Good, brother. Good.
Yeah.
All the
Yes.
questions, all the conversation was really good.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. King Mackie,
Yes, sir.
you got that spotlight?
We got the spotlight tonight, fellas. We got the spotlight tonight. So our spotlight tonight will be Toussaint L'Ouverture. Toussaint L'Ouverture. So Toussaint L'Ouverture was a former enslaved man who became the central leader of the Haitian Revolution, the only successful large-scale slave revolution in history, operating in what is now Haiti. He transformed a brutal plantation colony into a self-governed society. He combined military genius, political strategy, and diplomacy to defeat European powers while laying the groundwork for independence. Though he didn't live to see it, his leadership made Haiti's freedom inedible. So here are 5 powerful facts. Number one, Toussaint L'Ouverture was born into slavery, died a general. Toussaint rose from enslaved labor to top military commander, leading some armies against global empires. Number two, architect of the 1800 Constitution. He created a constitution that abolished slavery and made him governor for life, while still keeping ties to France. Number three, defeated multiple world powers. He successfully fought off forces from France, Spain, and Great Britain. Number four, freedom with control. He required former enslaved people to continue working plantations to keep the economy alive, one of the most debated parts of his leadership. And then number five, he was captured by Napoleon Bonaparte. He was arrested and sent to France, where he died in prison in 1803, just before Haiti won the independence. So our spotlight tonight is Toussaint L'Ouverture. We want to thank you for your contribution to the world.
Right on, man. You put that name in the chat?
Yes, sir. I sure will.
Yes. It's my bad. There's a bonus question. I just seen it. Seen it. My bad. Shoot it out. Shoot that bonus question out. It's my bad. I just seen that thing. Was that you, Chris?
No, somebody in the chat asked if we could do a bonus question. Yeah, Nick.
Oh, Nick's on? Bonus question. Okay.
Oh, because it says, you want to read it? Mackie, you want me to take it?
Yeah, I'll read it. So is peer pressure predominantly negative, leading individuals to make harmful choices, or can it also have positive effect for encouraging personal growth and positive behavior changes? It's a question from Nick.
Peer pressure is powerful, man. Whoever you surround yourself with is you tend to follow, whether that be negative or a positive, especially when you're talking about young folks, and because they're still learning how to find themselves. I think peer pressure is absolutely tough. Watching my kids, go through it right now, especially my son trying to find his way with these kids, with these boys, so to speak, and how some of them, act with the, listening to that music, to that rap, and trying to emulate that, and with the pants, sagging down below the hind parts, and things like that, and wanting to be cool, trying to fit in. I always am in his ear to be yourself. Always be yourself. Do not emulate that. Be different. Be a leader, not that follower. It is a very powerful. It's very powerful. So you surround yourself, and even as adults too as well. If you are not strong-willed, you tend to follow the people who are around you.
Yep. You always will have followers and leaders.
Yeah.
So is it negative or positive? Go ahead, Corey. Go ahead. That's right.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say the exact same thing, Corey. I believe that there's a balance with peer pressure. Obviously, when you're a kid, you're going to be a lot more gullible. You haven't had the experience, and I think that a person needs to experience peer pressure and then to be able to go through that so they understand what it is. But as a parent, you have to develop confidence within your child. The child doesn't do that on its own. You have to teach that to your kid. You have to make your kid believe. And that's really on the parents when it comes down to how peer pressures is affecting kid. If that happens, it's usually something going on at the home, and that kid is not being fulfilled properly at the home life, and they give into peer pressure much more easily, and they're much more easily influenced because they're going with people that gives them attention.
That's right.
That's and as we're older now, I think you guys would all agree with me. We can kind of allow who peer pressures us.
Sure.
Right. And that's why it's important to keep in my opinion, the people that you're going to directly interact with on a very personal, close level, should probably be somebody that you can trust, because they are going to peer pressure you.
Sure.
I mean, you're our product or your environment.
Absolutely.
But you can change your environment.
This is true.
Yeah, I'm agree with all you, especially Chris as well, Corey and RP. Nick, it can definitely be a positive, be positive, and in fact, my own personal life, I feel like I was very strong-willed growing up. But you know what, the effect who instilled that was my father. You know what I mean? I mean, my mom and father. But again, I feel like fathers don't get enough praise for what they do. You know what I mean? Of course, your mother's that's who you came from. You always gonna be close from her and always give her some sense of love and respect. You know what I mean? But when it comes to a father figure, it's less likely. We look at Mother's Day as being one of the most blissful days or of the year, but Father's Day just kind of just thrown underneath the rug at times. So
Yes.
But now, can I ask you this? While you have that thought in your head, Peru, now that you're a father and you have older kids and younger kids, do you still think the same way?
That what?
About I think just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
About Father's Day. Father's Day.
No, about being a father. I just totally lost my train of thought. It just went away.
Well,
let's move on.
I do. I mean, fathers are. Again, even society. We kind of talked about it before about the Jim Crow law. Society knew how important fathers were. You know what I mean? Because there were certain laws against it. You know what I mean? Even society to this day. When you think about the prison system. It's more held. Yeah, child support is more held down by men. You know what I mean? And so society knows that stronghold, that positive figure. But anyway, but yeah, my father was a positive effect. So what I say is that my father was very much into fitness and health and fitness. And so it put me on that same track to be very concerned about what I put into my body. And that meant even in my mind. You see what I'm saying? Not just drinking alcohol and smoking weed. I didn't do any of that until I was almost in my 30s. You know what I mean? Before I even touched anything like that, because I was very concerned about the nature of my body and my mind. You know what I mean? But again, you know, peer pressure can be positive. I'm with Chris as well. Kids should deal with peer pressure. You know what I mean? Because we need to see at what point where they need help at. Do they need help because they're being negatively affected and they start to walk that way? Or do we see the strength that we've enholded with them and then we can let them continue to walk the way they've been walking? You know what I mean? And so, but
yes, sir.
It can definitely be positive for sure. For sure.
So I collected my thoughts, Mackie.
Yes, sir.
So what I was going to ask is, you mentioned your father finally said he was proud of you. He gave you praise when you were in your 30s, right?
Right.
So do you think that if your father would have said that 10 years prior, your life would have still turned out the same way?
So he did say it to me 10 years prior, because I ended up having a child at 19 and getting married. And so he seen the steps I took to take care of my responsibility. You know what I mean? But it was something about at 35 when him and I had a discussion, because I had a lot on my chest that I needed to speak to him about. And the conversation didn't start out very positive. It started out very negative. But about time we got off the phone call, it was hugs and tears and all due respect. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like that. I would have. He did say something to me 10 years. My dad was pretty positive in our lives, and kept us, pretty level headed. Um, but like I said, through his positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement, it has definitely made me the man I am today, and father and husband.
Right on, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Great conversation.
Yeah, lovely,
Phenomenal.
lovely.
All right. Yes, sir. All right, we're gonna round robin this thing. Corey, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah. Yeah. It's on me. Say I appreciate y'all every week, every day, even just through our text messaging, positive information. We're always really seeking to challenge each other. You know what I mean? And the criticism. You know what I mean? The positive was it be positive criticism? What do you call it? What do you call it? Criticism?
Constructive.
Constructive. There we go.
Constructive.
Constructive criticism, brothers. I appreciate y'all, and I'm thankful that I'm with this, great group of men, and I look forward to our future. And Nick, brother, I appreciate you, man. You always stand strong to your word, brother. I appreciate you, bro. I love you all.
Just want to let everybody know that always that to start to learn how to rely on yourself and rely on other people around you, and to stand on faith, dedication, and discipline.
Say.
Grateful for you, Kings. Each and every single time we get on the creation of this podcast, couldn't be couldn't be done without you, gentlemen. That's no doubt about it. I'm very grateful for all of you, and the insights and the thoughts that you bring to this thing is what's making this thing possible, and certainly the future looks mighty bright. Looks mighty, mighty bright. Listen, Nick, appreciate you too as well,
Yeah.
King. Appreciate them
Yeah.
questions, absolutely,
Yeah.
and your input and helping us out along this way. I absolutely appreciate that. Hey, you can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, I believe that's what it's called. We'll be coming to other places as well here soon enough. That's for sure. Got some insight into how we can spread this thing a little bit further. Absolutely. If you can't watch us on the video, as you're riding down that road, you surely can pop in them earplugs or find us on that phone and listen to these amazing voices and what we have to say. We have Sunday Night Book Club coming up this Sunday. We're going to shoot for 8:45. 8:45. We're going to shoot for 8:45.
Yes.
The topic will be the origins of Africa. Please join us. Until then, Kings, peace.
Peace.